I have to say I respect chicken farmers because you guys go through the most. Yes, guys, welcome back to the biggest agricultural platform known as Induna Wengombe, which means headman of cattle. I am, of course, let me get my lighting right here, the headman of cattle, Mitchell Mutumba Simata, aka the Induna Wengombe. So today, one subscriber came through last week and asked me to do a video on how to succeed with small-scale chicken farming project. And I'm not really that well versed with chickens. I had chickens, we did them free range, but I never really invested heavily into them. So I decided to do research on it. I tried to get information based on my country, Namibia, but I could get nothing. So I had to go find articles in the biggest agricultural magazine in SADC, Farmers Weekly. So let's get into this information. How to succeed with a small-scale chicken farm. As you guys know, I got my trusted notebook here with my not-so-flattering handwriting. The difficulties experienced by new small-scale poultry producers are generally be attributed to three factors: farm blindness, poor access to market resulting in cash flow and production management problems, and inefficient disease management. Farm blindness, as farmers' lack of knowledge, resulting in them regarding the situation on their farm as being the norm everywhere. When farmers do not know enough about farming poultry, they end up with poor bird performances and animal welfare. They are, however, unaware that this is a problem because they do not know any better. Training and information sharing is the solution. Farmers who are equipped with correct knowledge will learn and so become accustomed to what is normal. Through constant monitoring and observation of birds, they will in effect be able to identify stress signals early and address these before situations get out of control. Market access, that's the first point. Most small-scale farmers sell live birds because they do not have the facilities to supply formal markets that require slaughtered and processed chickens. However, the markets of live chickens is cycle and unpredictable. Some cycles, farmers sell off all their chickens a couple of days, clean the farm, and are ready for the next batch of chickens. During other cycles, however, it may take weeks to sell the birds, causing delays in the preparation for the next batch. Added cost. The erratic nature of market has several negative knock-on effects. Firstly, uncertain cash flow makes it difficult for farmers advance payment for inputs such as feed, chicks, or point-off layer pools. Cash flow can become severely strained by delays in sales and an inability to recover funds spent in the previous cycle. Access to funds without security also is near impossible, which means that these farmers are only able to procure inputs when they have money in hand. So cash flow is another thing you have to pay attention to. That poor cash flow and not being able to achieve economics of scale results in farmers not being able to buy products such as feed in bulk and thus reap the benefits of the result of cost saving. Second, it results in birds kept longer than necessary, which effect delays that compensate of a new production cycle. Broilers are usually kept for 35 to 39 days before they are sold live. Your profits will be affected if you keep them longer due to ongoing feed cost. Money is also lost because these birds prevent the facility from being used to its full potential. Just imagine how much money a farmer loses by keeping 20 birds instead of his or her production capacity of, say, 100 birds. Advance orders. Thirdly, it interferes with production planning. The most chicks and point of layer pool producers need to confirm their suppliers months in advance so that they can adjust their planning to ensure sufficient supply for their customer. If a farmer is unable to confirm an order in advance, there is no guarantees that he/she will be able to get chicks from a hatchery or secure point of layer pools when they are needed. Farmers need to restock houses as soon as possible after a batch has left and the facility has been cleaned and prepared for the next batch. The producer loses money every day. The poultry facilities stand empty. The same applies to feed, bedding, and vaccines. Failure to secure enough feed at the start of the production cycle can result in a farmer struggling to do so throughout the entire production cycle. There is, in effect, a danger that feed may not be available when it is needed, which can result in birds taking longer to reach their target weight. Birds might also become stressed, which could render them more vulnerable to diseases. Vaccines are another case in point. Birds will not receive optimal protection if they do not receive vaccines at the right time. Overcoming challenges. To overcome these challenges, farmers need to have slaughter birds when demand is low. Freeze them and sell frozen birds on demand. So slaughter, freeze them, and then sell them when demand goes up or on demand. While the price might not be as good, the farmer will at least be able to use their production facilities optimally, and they will be able to adhere to their production planning programs. Better planning will help root out inefficiencies that add costs to production. It will result in houses never standing empty when they should be populated, birds never going without feed, and farmers getting the best quality replacement stock. Farmers can also reduce input costs by pooling resources and buying inputs such as feed in bulk. Buying directly from suppliers such as feed mills or hatcheries will also help reduce costs and will give farmers access to technical support. Currently, most small-scale farmers buy inputs from middlemen. However, this is not always practical due to the distance between farms, but when farmers talk, they might find solutions to overcome these problems. Disease management. Disease management is another great challenge for small-scale farmers. That it results in poultry not performing optimally, which drives up costs and negatively affect farmers' earnings. Birds that are sick or recovering from a disease generally eat less and produce less meat or eggs. Some diseases can be treated, which adds to cost of production, but in extreme cases, whole flocks might have to be culled to eradicate the disease. Newcastle disease is another one that might cause you to put down all your birds. Farmers primarily struggle with disease management due to poor quality chickens, poor management practices, and inefficient vaccine programs. Poor quality chicks can often be linked to inefficient planning. Failure to order birds in advance often result in farmers having to settle for what they can get, which usually turns out to be lower quality chicks. These birds might be more vulnerable to disease than better quality birds, and they will also require more inputs such as feed to reach their target weight. Biosecurity measures, something you need to pay attention to. Poor measurement and biosecurity makes farmers vulnerable to introducing and spreading of diseases from one chicken house to another. Biosecurity is a farmer's first line of defense as it prevents diseases from entering the production house in first place. Only employees who work with the birds should be allowed in the production areas, and they must take proper hygiene precaution, such as showering or washing and changing into clean work clothing before starting the workday. Measures should also be taken to prevent the birds from coming into contact with wild birds or other animals that might carry diseases. In addition, the house needs to be properly cleaned out and sanitized before a new batch of birds is introduced to prevent the spread of diseases. Vaccinations are a valuable tool in preventing diseases rather than having to go to great expenses treating a disease once it occurs. Farmers should therefore consult a vet for assistance in designing a vaccination program tailored to their specific needs, and it should be evaluated and reviewed regularly. So, I have to say, chicken farmers, I respect you guys. This video is 11 minutes actually. I respect you guys as chicken farmers. I didn't know you have to go through all these things of feed. We always think feed is expensive, but it's saying housing, vaccination, getting the right quality birds. I didn't know that you have to get a particular type of breed to actually raise for layer or for broilers, for meat. I just thought you just get any chicken. But this comes with education. That information was from Farmers Weekly. I think you guys can check out the article online if you want to do some research on yourself and also talk to experienced chicken farmers, because I'm sure they are out there and they can help you. I always tell people, try to get mentors or try to get people doing the type of farming you want to get involved in. Don't just jump head in first, and attend trainings, attend information sharing sessions, whether they are paid or free. Do attend, because what you will learn from there is very valuable. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say bye for now.